we still have one method missing. We still have to talk about one of the other method of solving a system of linear equations, which is the addition method. I was thinking, and instead of working the addition method today, because we have this whole week ahead of us, the Thanksgiving week, and maybe we will forget, let's start this new method after the Thanksgiving week. Today we will work on a few applications, because system of linear equations have so many applications, several applications, and it's interesting to understand it, to realize it. Those applications listed here are just a few that you're going to find most commonly on your tests, on your FSAs, on the SATs. You're going to find applications like that. But don't make no mistake, this system of linear equations have so many applications in technology, computer science, engineering, even cooking. Lots and lots of applications. You're going to find finance, banking. You're going to see here lots and lots of applications, useful applications of system of linear equations. The most common is going to be applications involving cost. We will work on an example. Application involving mixtures, like chemistry, kind of chemistry. Application involving banking, principal, interests, banking, finance. Applications involving uniform motion. This is physics, like distance, speed, and time. And one of my favorites, applications involving geometry. So many applications, so many useful things that we can apply system of linear equations in geometry. The first one that we will see, the first example, and I'm gonna tell you, I think this one is a little bit silly, because this is a cost application. You're gonna find several of these in your tests. You're gonna work a lot of this kind of example, this kind of application to solve using substitution method to solve system of linear equations. But I say silly because this is not a kind of a real situation, right? You're never gonna go to an amusement park and read this. At an amusement park, 5 hot dogs and 1 drink cost $16. 2 hot dogs and 3 drinks cost $9. Find the cost per hot dog and the cost per drink. And this is something you're never gonna find, never gonna do when you go to an amusement park, right? You're gonna go to an amusement park to have fun, to enjoy yourself, to enjoy your family, to have some relaxing time. You're never gonna go to a stand, to a hot dog stand, and start to calculate the price of the hot dogs. This is silly, right? But anyways, let's have a look on how to work this kind of example, this question, because you're gonna find on the exams, on the tests, questions like that. And it's cool, it's fine, let's work. Let's see how to work this out. Let's say the 5 hot dogs, the price of each hot dog is X, and let me just put more thickness, okay. The price of each hot dog is X, and the price of each drink is Y. So the first equation that we're going to have for the system is going to be 5 hot dogs, 5X, plus 1 drink, plus Y, equals 16. So this is the first equation. The next equation we will have for the system is 2 hot dogs and 3 drinks will cost $9. So 2 hot dogs, 2X, plus 3 drinks, 3Y, equals what? $9. Now we have the system, you can solve it, and again, you can solve by any method. If you apply, doesn't matter the method that you apply, the answer, the solution is always going to be the same. We will apply here the substitution method, So let's go to step number 1. I will choose one equation to isolate the variable on step number 1. And I'm going to choose this first one here, this on the top. Let's say this is equation number 1. I will isolate, this is what step number 1 is. Isolate one of the variables on the left hand side of the equation. We will isolate y. To do this, we're going to move 5x to the right hand side. Okay, we're going to move this to the right hand side and keep only y on the left hand side. When we move 5x to the right hand side, we're going to move with the opposite sign. If it's positive here, it's going to be negative over there. And why? Because this is addition property. This is the same thing as subtracting x, 5x, from both sides of this equation. That is the reason it changes the sign when you move to the other side of the equation. Y equals, so 16, and then you move positive x to the other side, it's going to be negative 5x, minus 5x. Okay, this is step number 1. We're done with step number 1. Let's work now on step 2. Step 2, we get the second equation that we have here. The second equation is this: 2x plus 3y equals 9. This is equation number 2. And we will substitute every time we find y. We're going to substitute by this expression 16 minus 5x. Let's do it. So 2 times x, repeat, plus 3 times what? 3 times y. But no, I don't want y. I'm going to change y into 16 minus 5x. Okay? And repeat this equals to 9. To complete step number 2, what you have to do here is apply distributive property and simplify. Let's simplify by applying here the distributive property, 2x, repeat, plus 3 times 16. 3 times 16 is 48. 3 times negative 5x. 3 times negative 15. X equals 9. Great! And the last thing for step 2, we will combine like terms. We have 2x and negative 15x. Combine 2x minus 15x minus 13x. So 48 minus 13x equals 9. Moving now to step number 3. Step 3, solution of the equation. We have this equation, let's find the solution for it. To find out, we're going to move 48 to the other side. We're going to keep only x on the left hand side. So move 48 to the right hand side, and you will have negative 13x equals 9, and positive 48 is going to become negative 48. Negative 48. Negative 13x. Negative 13x equals 9 minus 48 minus 39. Divide both sides by negative 13. Divide both sides here by negative 13. And then you're going to have x equals 1. Negative 39 divided by negative 13, positive 3. Great! We found the price of the hot dog. Each hot dog will cost $3. Now we will plug this value here, x equals 3, into the equation of step number 1. Equation of step number 1 is this. Let's bring this, bring this to the bottom. Y equals 16 minus 5x, okay? Let's bring here to the bottom, y equals 16 minus 5x. And 16 minus 5x, 5 times 3, plug in here 3, right? 16 minus 5 times 3, 5 times 3 is 15, 16 minus 15 is 1. That means y equals 1. Let us check now this next application. Let me know if you have any questions for this first application, for the first example. And I know the whole thing, the whole process, we need to practice to get hold of it, to be confident. Let me ask you if you have any specific question, any step that was not 100% clear, anything that was confusing, not the whole thing. I understand that you will get a hold of the whole thing, the whole procedure, if we practice more. If there are no questions, let's try this example here. This is a geometry application, and again, this is, I will say this is more useful, this is more realistic. You're going to find this kind of example eventually if you're working with geometry. In the future, if you're working, for instance, with engineering or architecture or something like that, you will use this kind of thing. It's not like the amusement park to calculate hot dog price. But this is useful. The sum of two acute angles in a right triangle is 90 degrees. So we have two acute angles, x and y, and the sum is 90 degrees. The measure of one angle is 6 less than 2 times the measure of the other angle. That means x equals 2 times the other angle, 2 times y, less 6, minus 6. And let's do it a bit faster, because now we have more practice, right? A bit faster. Step number 1 is already here. We have x isolated, and we can use this 2y minus 6 on the other equation. I'm going to plug in here instead of x, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to apply step number 2 now on the equation on the top. Instead of x, I will write 2y minus 6. And now we have another y plus y, and equals to 90, equals to 90. Okay, to complete step number 2, we will combine like terms. You have 2y plus y, 3y, minus 6 equals 90. And then we can move to step number 3. See, this is much faster, because we are practicing. Step number 3. Step number 3, going to move negative 6 to the other side of the equation. Then we have 3y equals 90. Negative 6 becomes positive 6. 96. Divide both sides by 3. You can divide both sides by 3. And then you're going to find y equals 96 divided by 3, 32. Great, you found y equals 32. How can we find x? Go to the top, the step number 1, and plug in into this equation here. If we have y equals 32, that means 2 times 32 minus 6. X equals 2 times 32 minus 6. 2 times 32 is 64. 64 minus 6, 58. That means x equals 58. That's it, much faster. See, if you practice, if you keep practicing, if you get confident, you're gonna be able to do this much faster. And you can skip some sub steps as long as you are confident, and then you're gonna find out the final answer, the final result of the solution for the system of equation much faster when applying the substitution method. Okay, that's it for the examples that I have to show you. Do you think you're ready to work on the quiz? Do you think we can move from this to work on the quiz? Is there any questions, anything, any specific thing? All right, thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Jorge. Let's move to the quiz then. But before, I want to try this. I want to try to solve this bell work. Thank you, Jan. I want you to send your guesses. What do you think is going to be the answer for this bell work? And again, Jenny has been saving dimes and nickels, only dimes and nickels. She has 50 coins. The total is $4.80. How many dimes are there in total? Type your guesses. So the answer here is going to be 46 times 10 cents plus 4 times 5 cents. You have $4.80. This is the right answer. The answer for the bell work is going to be 46 dimes. And let's move to the quiz. Okay. Now on the quiz, we have two parts of the quiz. The first one, you have to solve some systems of linear equations. Let me read here the question. Solve the following systems of linear equations by any method of your choice. Answer as an ordered pair. So you can apply substitution method. You can use the graphing, you can use the graphing calculator, you can use any method. What I suggest you to do is to apply the graphing calculator, use the graphing method, but choose at least one or two that you're gonna calculate, you're gonna find out the answer using the substitution method. And then you compare the results. The results must be the same, needs to be the same. If you use the substitution method or if you use the graphing calculator, okay? It needs to be the same. For the second part we have a few word problems. And what is easier here is the word problems. You have to read, you have to understand. But they also, the problems, the questions also bring you the system of equations. You don't need to write down, you don't need to model the system of equations. It's already given. You just need to solve each system of equations, and I will show you how to apply substitution method to solve each one of the system of equations. If you need help, you type here on the chat box. If you want some feedback for your answers, letter A, you're going to work here on the graphing calculator, okay? So letter A is going to be 2x, and type 2x minus 4y equals to 8. Enter. And y equals 2x plus 1. Enter. And check the graph, check the intersection. Let me see here. Oops. Make sure that you find the right intersect. The intersect is going to be -2 and -3. Using the graphing calculator. Oh, Timothy, good morning. That's perfect. Great. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you. So if you check the graphic calculator, this is going to be the answer for letter A. -2 and -3. Now, let me show the same letter A. We will apply here the substitution method, okay, for letter A. For substitution method, step number 1. Let's get this equation here that's already isolated. Y equals 2x plus 1. And we're going to plug in the next equation. Step number 2. The next equation, 2x minus 4 times y. And instead of writing y, I'm going to write this 2x plus 1. Equals what? Equals 8. Now simplify, apply distributive property, and then we have 2x minus -4 times 2x, -8x, -4 times 1, -4 equals 8. Combine like terms, because we have 2x minus 8x is -6x, minus 4 equals 8. And step number 3, solution. Let's find the solution. Move this to the other side, When you move -4 to the other side, it's going to be +4, -6. X equals 8 plus 4 is 12. So X equals 12 divided by -6. So X equals -2. Okay, -2. And Y, let's check Y. To find out Y, you're going to plug in here. Look. Y equals 2 times -2 plus 1. So Y equals -3. The answer, -2 and -3. See, applying distributive applying substitution method, excuse me, or applying the graphing method, you're gonna have the same result, the same solution. So letter G, Angelo invested 8,000 in 2 accounts, one that paid 3% and other one that pays 1.8%. At the end of the first year, his total interest earned was $222. How much did he deposit in the account that pays 3%? So the account that pays 3% is this one, X. This is 3%, this is 1.8%, and this is 222 is the total interest earned. The total amount, if you add the initial investment on each account, is going to be X plus Y, 8,000. So let's find X. The question here is to find X. Step number 1, isolate one of the variables, and we will isolate Y. I like to isolate Y because we're going to find much faster the result for X. So isolate Y, and then you have Y equals 8,000 minus X. Okay. Now step number 2. Step number 2, get the next equation here, 0.03x plus 0.018 y, but instead of y, I'm going to write this, 8,000 minus x equals to 222. Okay? To complete step number 2, we're going to simplify this equation applying distributive property. So 0.03x plus 0.018, and let's use the calculator. Just make sure that you get the right answer. 0.018 times 8,000 equals 144. Minus 0.018x equals 222. And finally, combine like terms. You have 0.03x minus 0.018x. This is going to be 0.012x if you combine the like terms. For step number 3, let's move this positive 144 to the other side. It becomes negative when it goes to the other side. 222 minus 144. And to find the answer, finally, let's bring back the calculator. Because the answer is going to be 222 minus 144 equals 78. And 78 divided by 0.012. Oops, too many zeros. 12 equals 6,500. X equals 6,500. This is the answer for letter G.